The bell had just rung when the hallway noise dipped into that strange quiet where lockers stopped slamming and everyone felt like something was about to happen. She stood there, clutching the thin silver chain at her collarbone, the only thing she had left from her mother, the metal still warm from her skin. It was the kind of moment people remember years later, the second before everything breaks or changes forever. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear fate holding its breath. They had been watching her for weeks, whispering, laughing when they thought she could not hear. That morning one of them finally stepped close enough to smirk at the necklace and call it cheap. Another laughed louder and said it probably came from a thrift bin like the rest of her life. She tried to walk away, heart pounding, but hands reached out, and the chain snapped with a sharp sound that echoed down the lockers. The necklace hit the floor and slid, broken, right under someone's shoe. In that instant, something old and carefully buried inside her stirred, something she had promised her mother she would only use to protect, never to harm. The Bullies did not know that promise existed. They did not know who she had been before she became the quiet girl in the back of the class. She knelt to pick up the broken chain, fingers shaking, memories flooding in. Late nights where her mom brushed her hair and told her stories about strength and kindness. Early mornings at a small dojo where sweat and discipline taught her control, not anger. A black belt earned through years of bruises, patience, and respect. She had stopped training after her mother passed, grief weighing heavier than any opponent. But the lessons never left her bones. When she stood back up, eyes steady instead of scared, the hallway felt different. The Bullies noticed too late. Laughter died. One shoved her shoulder, testing her. She stepped back, breathing slow, voice calm, asking them to stop. When they did not, when another kick sent the necklace farther away, the choice was no longer about fear. It was about boundaries. What followed was fast, controlled, and nothing like the movies. No wild rage, no screaming, just precise movement, balance, and restraint drilled into her for years. She redirected force instead of creating it, putting distance between herself and danger, using the hallway walls and lockers to keep from being surrounded. Teachers came running. Students gasped. The Bullies found themselves on the floor, stunned more by the shock of consequences than by pain. By the time adults arrived, she had stepped back, hands open, breathing steady, the broken necklace safe in her pocket. Sirens later carried the boys away for evaluation, shaken and humiliated, while she sat in the office, shaking now that it was over, wondering if she had crossed a line or finally drawn one. Words spread through the school like wildfire. Some exaggerated, some judged, some finally understood. In the days that followed, she expected punishment, whispers, maybe even expulsion. Instead, she was met with questions she answered honestly. She explained the necklace. She explained the warnings she gave. She explained the training she hoped she would never need again. Her instructors from years ago were contacted, vouching for her discipline and character. Counselors talked about grief, about how pain can turn inward or outward, and how strength is choosing when to stand still and when to stand firm. The second time she walked down that hallway, the lockers seemed less intimidating. The same spot where the chain had snapped now felt like a line she had crossed into something new. The Bullies returned weeks later quieter, eyes avoiding hers, learning the hard way that mocking someone's loss is not a game. She did not smile or gloat. She simply existed, head up, necklace repaired, and worn under her shirt where it belonged. Others started sitting near her in class. One girl whispered, "Thank you for showing that being quiet does not mean being weak." A teacher nodded at her with a look of respect that said more than words. At home that night, she held the necklace in her palm and thought about her mother. about the promise to use her skills to protect, not destroy. She realized she had done exactly that, not just for herself, but for everyone who watched and learned. Strength, she finally understood, is not about sending someone else to the hospital. It is about surviving loss, setting boundaries, and carrying love forward without letting cruelty define you. And as the camera of the world slowly panned away from the hallway drama, one truth remained clear for anyone still watching. Underestimating a quiet heart can be the biggest mistake of all.